You know what makes me absolutely furious? WWE fans who are still defending Roman Reigns like he didn't just spit in all of our faces. Yeah, I said it. And before you slam that comment button telling me I'm wrong, ask yourself this. How many years did we cheer for this man? How many times did we buy his merchandise, defend him against critics, and stand by him through Superman punches and spears? How many times did we argue with our friends, our family, random people on the internet, defending Roman's honor when everyone else was calling him overrated? And what did he do the moment he came back? He showed us exactly what he thinks of every single person who supported him. He looked us dead in the eye and basically said, "Your loyalty means nothing." But here's where it gets interesting, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're either going to be furiously agreeing with me or absolutely losing your mind in the comments. And honestly, both reactions prove my point about what WWE just pulled off. They've got us right where they want us, and the scariest part is we can't even agree on whether we should be grateful or outraged. Let me take you back to that SmackDown return. The arena erupted. Chills ran down spines. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, our tribal chief, walked back into WWE after months away. Fans were on their feet, emotions running high, tears in some people's eyes because they missed him that much. The pop was deafening. Social media exploded. Wrestling fans who swore they'd never cheer for Roman again found themselves caught up in the moment. And then boom, the switch flipped. The man we defended through countless WrestleMania main events. The guy we argued was finally getting his due as a top star. The performer we insisted had finally found his groove. Just turned around and reminded everyone why the WWE Universe has such a complicated, toxic, love-hate relationship with him. He didn't just turn heel. He turned into everything we feared, everything we warned each other about during those 4 years when we actually believed in him. And you want to know the craziest part? Some of you are calling it brilliant. Some of you are saying this is exactly what WWE needed. Some of you are acting like this is the greatest storytelling decision since Stone Cold turned heel at WrestleMania 17, and we all know how that worked out, don't we? Well, let me ask you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. At what point does storytelling become manipulation? At what point does a company get to play with our emotions? Take our money, sell us a hero, build him up for years, make us believe in his evolution, and then laugh while turning him into everything we feared he'd become? At what point do we admit we're not fans anymore? We're just marks getting worked by a company that knows exactly which buttons to push. But hold on, because I'm not here to just rant. I'm here to break down why this situation with Roman Reigns facing CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41 is either the biggest betrayal in modern wrestling or the most genius move WWE has made in years. And the answer might actually be both. See, wrestling fans have this weird, almost masochistic relationship with being worked. We pride ourselves on knowing the business, understanding the mechanics, seeing through the storylines, reading the dirt sheets, predicting the outcomes. We act like we're so smart, so aware, so impossible to fool. But then WWE does something like this, and we all collectively lose our minds like we're 12 years old again watching wrestling for the first time. Is that a failure on our part or a success on theirs? Are we idiots for caring, or are they geniuses for making us care? And before you answer, remember that your emotional response to this video, whatever it is, proves that WWE's strategy is working exactly as intended. They don't need you to love Roman. They just need you to feel something, anything, strongly enough to keep watching, keep talking, keep spending money on their product. Think about Roman's journey. The Shield gave us one of the greatest factions in WWE history. 3 guys, brothers in arms, taking on the world. And when they split, we all knew Roman was being groomed as the next face of WWE. But here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. We rejected him. Not because he wasn't talented, not because he couldn't perform, but because WWE shoved him down our throats when we weren't ready. We booed him out of buildings while WWE kept telling us he was the hero. They ignored our voices, our signs, our reactions, and they kept pushing Roman as the good guy even when arenas full of people were telling them we didn't want it that way. So after years of that torture, after finally accepting him as a heel during his tribal chief run and actually enjoying his work, what does WWE do? They bring him back and immediately set up the same old patterns that made us resent him in the first place. Now he's positioned against CM Punk, A man who represents everything anti-establishment in wrestling. A guy who walked away from WWE because he refused to be their puppet, who came back on his own terms. And Seth Rollins, the architect, the visionary, a man who's proven himself time and time again as someone who can carry any storyline, any match, any moment. These are the guys Roman is being positioned against, and WWE is betting that we'll pay to see it. They're banking on our emotions, our investment, our hope that maybe this time it'll be different. But will it? Or are we just setting ourselves up to be disappointed again? Here's where the masterstroke argument comes in, and I hate to admit it, but it's compelling. By turning Roman heel again, WWE is acknowledging everything we've felt about him for years. They're saying, okay, you didn't want him as your hero? Fine, he'll be your villain. And not just any villain, but the kind of villain who knows he's better than everyone else because WWE told him he was for years. He's not playing a character anymore. He is the character. The entitlement, the arrogance, the belief that he deserves the top spot regardless of what fans think, that's real. WWE just took all that resentment, all that history, all those complicated feelings, and weaponized them into the most nuclear, heat-generating storyline they could create. And you know what? It's working. You're watching this video. You're feeling something. You're ready to comment. That's the point. But let's talk about the betrayal angle because it's equally valid. For 4 years, Roman Reigns as the tribal chief was must-see television. He wasn't the Roman we rejected. He was calculated, dangerous, interesting. He had Paul Heyman as his counsel, the bloodline as his family, and storylines that actually made sense. Fans who never thought they'd support Roman Reigns were suddenly invested in his character. We watched him elevate everyone he worked with. We saw him have incredible matches. We defended his title reign as one of the best in modern WWE history. And just when we thought WWE finally understood what worked, just when we thought they'd learned from their mistakes, they hit the reset button. They're taking him back to being positioned as the top guy, the chosen one, the man who gets WrestleMania main events whether we like it or not. That's not storytelling. That's stubbornness. That's WWE telling us they know better than we do about what we want to see. And let's address the WrestleMania 41 situation because this is where everything crystallizes. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is a money match. Nobody can deny that. It's a clash of egos, styles, and everything that makes wrestling compelling. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns has history that goes back to the Shield, betrayals, championships, and battles that defined both of their careers. These matches make sense on paper. But here's the problem. We've seen this before. We've seen Roman positioned as the final boss. We've seen him in WrestleMania main events. We've seen WWE build everything around him while other talented wrestlers wait for their moment. And every single time, WWE asks us to believe this time will be different. This time, Roman will be the guy we can all get behind. This time, the storytelling will satisfy everyone. But history suggests otherwise, doesn't it? The real question isn't whether Roman's heel turn is good for business. Of course it is. Controversy creates cash, and WWE knows this better than anyone. The real question is whether WWE respects its audience enough to deliver on the promise this storyline makes. Are they going to give us satisfying conclusions? Are they going to let CM Punk or Seth Rollins have their moment? Or is this just another chapter in the Roman Reigns coronation tour where we're expected to accept whatever WWE decides, regardless of how we feel about it? Because if it's the latter, then yes, this is absolutely a betrayal. It's WWE telling us our opinions don't matter, our investment doesn't count, and we'll consume whatever product they put in front of us because we're wrestling fans, and that's what we do. But maybe, just maybe, WWE has learned something. Maybe they understand that the best wrestling storytelling comes from acknowledging reality and weaving it into fiction. Maybe Roman Reigns as the ultimate villain, the corporate champion, the guy who represents everything wrong with WWE's booking philosophy, is exactly the story we need right now. Maybe watching CM Punk, the voice of the voiceless, or Seth Rollins, the guy who earned everything he ever got, take down the chosen one, is the catharsis WWE Universe has been waiting for since they first started forcing Roman down our throats 10 years ago. Maybe this time, they'll actually pull the trigger and give us the ending we deserve rather than the ending they think we should want. So here we are, caught between anger and anticipation, between betrayal and brilliance, between wanting to turn away and being unable to look away. That's the genius of what WWE is doing with Roman Reigns right now. They've turned him into the physical manifestation of every frustration we've ever had with their product, while simultaneously making him the center of the most compelling storylines they have. We hate that we care. We're angry that it's working. But it is working, isn't it? You're here. You're engaged. You're feeling something. And in an era where wrestling competes with infinite entertainment options, making people feel anything is a victory. The truth is, Roman Reigns' heel turn is both a betrayal and a masterstroke because WWE has always been both of those things. They frustrate us and amaze us in equal measure. They ignore us and listen to us simultaneously. They disrespect our intelligence while crafting stories that require us to be intelligent to fully appreciate. That's professional wrestling. That's WWE. That's why we keep coming back no matter how many times they let us down, because we're always holding out hope that this time, this moment, this storyline will be the one that delivers everything we've been waiting for. So what's it going to be? Is Roman Reigns' current path going to end with him standing tall at WrestleMania 41, proving that WWE hasn't changed and never will? Or are we going to witness something special, something earned, something that makes all this emotional investment worth it? I don't know, and honestly, neither do you. But we're both going to watch to find out. We're both going to have opinions. We're both going to argue in comments sections and with friends and with anyone who will listen. And WWE is counting on exactly that. They've turned Roman Reigns into the most effective tool they have for generating passion, controversy, and conversation. Whether that makes you angry or impressed says more about you than it does about them. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if I'm completely wrong or exactly right. Tell me whether you think this is brilliant booking or the same old nonsense. Because that conversation, that engagement, that passion, that's what makes wrestling matter. That's what makes Roman Reigns matter, whether we want to admit it or not. And that's why this storyline, frustrating and compelling in equal measure, is going to dominate wrestling conversation all the way to WrestleMania and beyond. Like this video if you're team anyone but Roman. Subscribe if you want more brutally honest wrestling talk. And share this if you know someone who needs to hear what I just said. Because ready or not, the tribal chief is back, and we're all along for this wild, infuriating, possibly brilliant ride whether we like it or not.